our pain and enjoy the good times. No, I don't mind. I've had some good climbs and my share of downhills, some twirls on the dance floor, and some trips and some spills. It was all part of the thrill. Don't go wishing you were living someone else's dreams, 'cause you're missing living your own make-believes. So go on, walk in my shoes, just keep your own groove. Your own groove. Oh, I made mistakes, yes she has, and I've walked in the rain. I've loved and I've learned. It's all part of life's game. Every step made me who I am, made me who I am today. Don't go wishing you were living someone else's dreams, 'cause you're missing living your own make-believe. So go on, walk in my shoes, just keep your own groove. Your own groove. Oh, take it away, boys.
We unmuted?
Yes.
Oh, I was just like testing it. Hey. Good morning, everybody. I'm Tiffany Carlen with Nona Reed here on JoCo Vibes on this cloudy Tuesday morning. Can't complain about the clouds because we got tons of rain yesterday. Prayers for anybody who flooded. I know not just in Dallas, but there's a friends of ours who did have a minor, flood on their first floor, and part of my sister's business had part of a flood. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
the back room. But her landlord and some of his employees jumped right in and helped and, took care of it. So love to see how people come together, whether it's a community or, people you do business with, or
Right.
Our first responders. I mean, they saved a lot of people in Dallas from that flash flood on
and Dallas
I-30.
is well known for excuse me.
Got a frog in your throat?
I guess I haven't talked in a while. Dallas is well known for,
flooding like that.
Yes. I mean, because they don't have the best
drainage
system. It seems like every time there's a good downpour like that, there's issues.
Yeah. So, good morning.
Good morning.
I think it's going to be a high of 86 degrees today. Good morning, Brian. Thanks for joining us. We're going to start Tuesday morning off. Now that we should be back into our full Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday schedule now that the summer's over and we're not traveling and things aren't crazy. And Tuesday mornings, we like to start our show off.
Start laughing.
Why are you laughing?
Our lives are always crazy.
It is, but that's because we're doing
a lot. We handle a lot.
We're trying to, right?
We try.
So we like to start off Tuesday mornings with the focus word of the week. And if you're not familiar with this book, it's how one word a week will transform your life. So we like to start the week off like this. This book is by Claire Cherry Reeves. And I actually got this book from Sarah Tynan. Because it's a Mary and Martha product, and then she's not selling them anymore, but I have a different rep. But anyway, so the focus word of the week is refresh. And I don't pre-read these, and I like that I don't pre-read these before we come on air, because it always ends up being a word that just fits. It
Somehow
fits the
fits, yeah.
season,
Mhm.
right? So the word of the
It's
week.
God's purpose.
Yes, the word of the week is refreshed. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And that's Psalm 23:3. The focus tip is wake up every morning this week and ask God to refresh your soul before you start your day. So, I think that's very fitting after
too.
a very tumultuous, contentious, unnecessarily contentious
Correct.
election season for school board. I didn't sleep a lot last night. I was thinking about things that I wanted to talk about today on air, and I know you have something that you want to say as well. And I just kind of rambled through my brain on just kind of recapping what happened to you during this election, and who was doing it,
Mhm.
and your opponent condoning it, because when you don't speak up and tell people to stop,
Correct.
you are condoning that behavior.
Correct.
And he appeared twice on another radio show or he's a podcast, sorry, on a podcast, and where the host was actually bashing you,
Correct.
and Sean Miner allowed it.
Mhm.
He didn't stop him from doing that. And nowhere during this time and this period of this this race did you or any of your supporters bash Sean Miner. Now, was there conversation about what's happening at our school district? Real
Mhm.
conversation about what's happening in our school district? Yes. And that's
part of an election, isn't it?
That's part of an election. That's part of parents waking up and taxpayers waking up to what's going on in our school district, what's not going on in our school district,
Mhm.
and the conversation about holding them accountable for their actions or lack of actions.
Correct.
And what they're doing with our money. So I just think it's important that this conversation continues, because we have a right to know what's going on in our children's classrooms at all times, and what's not going on. And I just got a message from the director of the Texas chapter for the Parents' Rights in Education
Mhm.
yesterday about the social studies curriculum
Mhm.
that they're trying to that the state is trying to implement.
Oh, you mean the one that endorsed me twice?
Yes, they endorsed you
Mhm.
twice, and actually, and it wasn't just Texas; it was the national
Right. Mhm.
organization that
Yes.
endorsed you,
Mhm.
because they did their own investigating on you.
Right.
So, anyway, so this curriculum, and we'll probably dive into the curriculum a little bit more later in the week, but it is
Mhm.
scary what they are looking to
Well,
teach
let
our
me just
children
tell
in
you,
social studies.
the English and the math has already been adopted, and I don't know the actual curriculum itself, which is scary, by the way. But just knowing it's a scripted worksheet curriculum is, to me, scary enough, to be
Well,
honest.
I had actually heard from and unfortunately, we cannot say any teachers or staff or former teachers or former staff that we've heard from who left the
We will
district. We will never say their names,
say their
because they are
names.
terrified of retaliation.
Oh, yes, they are.
And
for someone to say they aren't, you're so done.
I
mean, come on, people.
you're just
These people are, these people
you're being
are
blind.
Yes.
There are whistleblowers. This happens not just in school districts, but it happens in all levels of corporations, Fortune 500 companies. Right. You were a whistleblower. You stood up for what you saw was being done wrong. And I screenshot a parent who's already complaining about the SPED program.
Uh-huh.
And we're just, heading into they were 2
The
days
second
into the
week of
school
school.
district,
Mhm.
into
The
school.
second week
And
of school.
I'm good with reading that, because I think it's important for people to understand. If you don't, you only know what you know. You know
Mhm.
what you know. And there are things going on that you don't know. And if you're not paying attention
It's
and listening
being
to
left out of everything
Right.
for a purpose, guys.
right, and a lot of parents don't
Quit
know.
being asleep.
A lot of parents don't know their rights in their children's education. I highly recommend that you go to parents, that's plural, rights, plural, in ed.org, And there is so much support there for parents, but this really talks to you about what your rights as a parent are in your child's education. And we have to remember that these school districts, contrary to what superintendents and school boards think, we own these schools, and we loan our children to them for their education. I'm very grateful to all the teachers out there who do what they do, but I'm not talking about teachers. I am talking about administration and the boards. And they've gotten
They're the ones that are choosing the curriculum, not the teachers anymore.
Right. And there's a very I think the administration and the school board, they've lost their way. They have forgotten what their purpose is, what their role is, what the parents' role is. And when Nona put her hat in to run, it's because she already experienced all of this as a teacher and as a parent, and wanted to be a voice on the inside where we need it. So I really urge all of you, even the ones who graduated from school, went to school your whole life with Sean Minor and all of that, you have to ask yourself, why did this board, not just him, the entire board, why did they fight so hard to protect that seat? Why?
It wasn't just that seat either. I mean,
it's been past seats.
It's been past seats.
Well,
but people haven't stepped up like I did.
Right. Well, you continue to fight, and let me tell you that was not easy. And
no, it was not.
I actually had this.
Because it is a small. I know 50,000 people is not a small town anymore, but a lot of us still know each other, and that is the issue. Like, I am friends with people that are friends with him, and you know, it's one thing if you want to support your person, but to bash me and to say lies about me, how hateful and
I just
rude.
really want to go with dragging you through the mud.
And guess what? You definitely weren't a friend. So if you haven't unfriended me and you have said something ugly, please just unfriend me. I don't need you as a friend on Facebook or a friend at all.
Right.
So, but I mean, that's happened.
Well, I've had even other parents
experiences with people I've had great experiences with.
I've had a parent reach out to me,
but because they went to school with him,
right? But they're not seeing the big picture.
No, they're not. They're trying to protect their job because they're in the building, in the school district, in the district too,
correct, which is something that we'll talk about.
Right.
I've been accused online of saying that teachers took a bribe to go vote. That's literally what was
nope, that's not
what was said about me. That is not what I said. I did not say teachers took a bribe. I did say the board bribed the teachers.
Right.
And I will stand by that. It's called electioneering, and you are not allowed to do that on school property. You are not allowed to do that at a convocation. And there's 2017, they also bonused the teachers during an election season as well.
Yes.
So there's a pattern of behavior here. And if you want to close your eyes to that, go ahead. Close your eyes to it. Don't pay attention. Don't complain. You don't get to complain. You don't get to complain about your property taxes. You don't get to complain about your child's education. You don't get to complain about when your kid gets bullied, when you sat back and voted for the same people who've been in there 12, 13, 18
because they're doing such a great job, according to some people.
They're not doing anything.
I know.
Go watch the board meetings. They're not doing anything.
Questions.
They're not doing anything.
They're voting all together.
And by the way, there's no power in one elected seat. There's no power.
But you got to keep all the seats together, because once you lose control of one.
And we're going to get into we're going to dive deep into some stuff here. We've got 3 minutes before the break. And so I want to tell you this, and I want to make sure you guys come back and listen to what we're going to talk about. But I've got friends all over the country and outside the country even, who have messaged me during all of this stuff and have gone, what is going on in your small town? Because we are still a small town.
Yeah.
50,000 people is still small compared to Fort Worth,
Mhm.
compared to Arlington, compared to Lubbock, where I lived for 9 years. There's 200,000 people there, and you would think that that's a small town, right? Because
Mhm.
it's so spread out. But they're literally laughing at this town.
I know,
People. They're
it's
laughing.
sad.
They're laughing at us, going,
Mhm.
why? What is wrong with these people that they're so willing to drag people through the mud over local politics? One person
And
literally
they
said to
still
me,
are.
one person literally said to me, she goes, they're treating this like it's the presidential race.
I know.
I said, but you know
Man,
what?
that makes me feel good.
But you know what? That's part of the problem.
Yep.
There was so much contention during the presidential election between, liberals and conservatives. And then there's people like me in the middle who have I've voted Democrat and I've voted Republican. And I'm going to vote Republican, on the local end most of the time now, really, because there are no Democrat, people running. So I want to have a voice in
Mhm.
who is at the county level,
Right.
and that type of stuff. So I can't vote for the city. I don't live in the city. And so I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're a liberal. Go be a liberal. Go be a conservative. Be proud of the label that you own. I think that's kind of how I've looked at it. That was one of the things I was thinking about this morning. I was thinking, like, I am capable of having friends who call themselves conservative.
Right.
I don't consider myself a conservative, but I am okay with the fact that people who call themselves conservatives are very proud and they own that.
Mhm.
It's not a dirty word.
Right.
It's the same thing, I think people get actually upset when they're called liberal sometimes, but that is what you are. I am not liberal. I'm here. I'm in the
Mhm.
middle. And it's a good place to be, actually, because I respect hearing both people as long as you can respectfully argue.
Right.
If you can respectfully argue, then I have respect for
Right.
for whatever your politics are.
Right.
But
Right.
if you cannot be respectful, then forget it. And that goes on both sides. I've seen nasty stuff from people that I know as conservatives and people that I know as liberals. And
I think that was more in the city election. I don't really think any of my supporters were ugly.
no, nobody
They-
was ugly.
They stood up, and I actually challenged someone to find something that, to be
Yeah.
honest.
All right, hang tight. We've got we're gonna go to a quick break, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna tell you something really interesting we uncovered last night. Stay with us.
Abnormal realities.
I love my mom.
Yep. She sent me a message.
My mom did?
Yeah, Wednesday night, and she invited me over tomorrow night to watch Titanic and share a bowl of popcorn. And I accepted.
You did?
Yep.
That'd be fun.
And she calls it Chaps Only Night every Saturday night.
Look,
Miss Dixie,
look.
how you doing? He said, "It's my mom, bro. All right, it's my mom."
I want to hear the answer to the Titanic and popcorn. Go ahead, Mom. What's up?
Oh!
Hi, boys. I just
Mom.
wanted to ask Rocky if he wanted butter on that popcorn or not.
Oh,
I
my
would
God.
rather have the butter somewhere else, but if popcorn's the only place I can have it, I'll take it.
Jeez,
Hey,
dude.
nobody says I can't roll around in it for a little bit.
All right, Mom.
That is my
Love you.
girl. I love you,
Mom.
Dixie.
Abnormal realities
My mom, love you.
Dixie.
Bye. I love you too.
with Ron and Rocky. Weekdays, 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. on JoCo Community Radio.
Holy crap.
Out of deck carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they've got you covered. When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family-owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth. Open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
And welcome back to the second half of JoCo Vibes. JoCo Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. The JoCo Community Radio app is now available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. I use it all the time, by the way. Really do. Check out our lineup and more on jococommunityradio.com. This episode and more is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep. Wow. Read. I told her I hate doing that. At 844-TEX-HELL. That's 844-839-4245.
Hey. All right.
Because you know I'm a fighter.
Yes, you are. Listen, so one of the things that was being discussed during this election was the school ratings that had come out.
Yes.
And some people, the people who supported Sean Miner just didn't think it's not a big deal. Overall rating for the district is one thing, but what happens, what do we do with, what do we do about the specific schools here in the Burleson School District who have C ratings? Crossroads High School being one of them, they have a C rating. Sorry. Oh, okay. All right, so,
I was supposed to say it like Ryan does. Doesn't he call it Nona or
he says,
Nana?
He calls you Nona. I can't remember.
I know. He never gets it right.
Hughes Middle School, Kerr Middle School, both have C ratings. Bransom has a C rating. Brock has a C rating.
God, I hate that Bransom does.
Yeah. So, is that okay? Are people really okay with that? Are you seriously going to just be accepting of that being okay? Have you talked to parents whose children are in those schools? My child's at Kerr.
I bet they're not okay with it.
My child's at Kerr. I want to know why that school has a C rating. So, you know, that's funny. I just saw Brian's comment. Yeah. So, you know, are you really okay with that? Are we okay with subpar?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Are we okay with par?
Apparently.
I mean, look, Texas.
A lot of those people that were for Sean thought everything was just peachy keen.
Well, I mean, one of the things that I look at is that Texas overall is 35th in education. 35th out of 52. And are we going to continue to allow our school district to be a part of that subpar rating?
Right.
You know,
I'm not.
I mean, you know what I look at? I look at our collegiate high school, which has an A rating, and they get left in the dirt. Jimerson did not, our superintendent didn't even show up for their graduation. Yes,
Really?
I had a parent reach out to me yesterday who was extremely disappointed. The excuse was that there was not enough seats, but that actually was not true. There was plenty of seats in the faculty section. She actually offered up two of her own seats to admin, of which they said, no, we've got plenty of tickets. Not admin, but admin at the collegiate. Collegiate. I always say different. So. I mean, these are kids who just busted their butt to not only graduate high school, but college at the same time.
Right.
And you're not there for that graduation to congratulate those people.
Be at the football game.
Well, be at the football game. That's right. And actually that was part of her complaint. She goes, you know, we get kicked to the dirt and they're not lifted up. They're not helped. She tried to get one of the local grocery stores to even donate and they wouldn't. And here you are, you've got these kids doing even more than any of our other schools, and it's the A-rated school, and you're not there to celebrate them. That's
I'm
tragic
a
to
little
me.
shocked at that.
And it was very disappointing, not only to the parents, but to the students.
Mhm.
So it's different.
They
Did,
see
did
it.
you have COVID? Were you ill? Why were you not there? You were there for
Someone should have been
you were there for
representing.
Centennial High School's graduation. You were there for Burleson High School's graduation.
Weren't they all in one day?
I don't know if collegiate was in the same day. I'd have to ask her. But not there for that one. I believe they are on the same day because I think collegiate is first. So I don't know. Again, it was something about limited seating, but that was actually not the case, as that parent said. So, that's a concern. So speaking of Jimerson, this is one of the things that that we found out last night. So if you go to the TEA website right now and you use the PEAM search, and this is something that we had already done a few weeks ago, and some other people had too. It is reported on there that Superintendent Jimerson's current salary is $260,007 and some change.
Correct.
Okay, 12,547 students. So that's what was reported for the 2019. I mean, the 2020-21 school year, and for the 2021-2022 school year. That is his reported salary. That is not accurate, because at 8:00 last night.
Well, I did get it late in the afternoon. I
Oh, yeah,
didn't
late in the
see it
afternoon.
till
Oh, okay.
8:00.
So late yesterday afternoon, 10 business days, exactly.
Right after the election.
Right after the election, yeah. Which this was a simple.
This should have been
was
a simple
response.
I should have got
Just
this
because
the day after.
Just want to say this: just because the school district has 10 business days to answer a response doesn't mean that everything requires 10 days
And
to get a
again,
response.
that is, people need to go, why is it taking this long? This should not even be something I have to do an open records request. So,
right, but we're going to save.
I know.
We're going to save that.
I know. I'm just saying.
So the TEA reporting, like I said, 260,000. That's inaccurate. According to his new contract that was signed and implemented on March 8th of 2021, Superintendent Jimerson's annual salary here in Burleson is $301,907.45. On top of that, there's a $2,000 monthly stipend to keep him here. So that's another $24,000 a year. He still gets $1,694.50 monthly car allowance, which
That's
is
pretty
an
much two
additional
cars.
$20,334.84 per year,
Mhm.
totaling $346,242.29. But that's not all.
That's
Okay,
not all.
That's your measurable amount. Additionally, added onto this contract, he got a one-time contribution of $10,000 to his annuity. He gets 100% full medical benefits for him and his entire family. They pay the complete premiums for them. That cost is unknown because it's not detailed out in the contract.
And just to let you know, teachers pay for their own.
Right. Now, any amount over the teacher benefit must be taxed as income, is taxable income, but it's still income. Okay. Plus, the school pays 100% of the premiums for a $500,000 life insurance policy for him. That cost is unknown. 100%, the BISD does a 100% match contribution to the TRS retirement and TRS care funds in monthly installments directly paid to the superintendent. That cost is unknown. Plus, he gets a monthly 100% paid for disability insurance premium as well. That cost is also unknown. So none of that is detailed out. I'm sure we can get that in the budget somewhere, but I have to question again, why is they falsely reporting his salary amount to the TEA? So now in fairness, because I don't know this, but I am going to call and inquire about some things. It says that it has not been updated since 2021. However, his salary was reported for the 2020-2021 school year as $260,007. I don't know what the requirements are as far as reporting. I don't know when they have to report that. So it's very possible that they had to report that in the beginning of that school year. So I don't know if they have to repair that. So I'm not saying that they've done anything wrong as far as reporting, because I don't know the reporting
Right.
requirements yet. So, but it's important for people to know that what you're seeing on the TEA is not accurate. I will share. I will share the contract on the JoCo Community Radio website when the show is over, so that you can look at it yourself and you can see, hey, it's not another made up story. This is really what it is, and there's other things that go along with that, but some of that we don't quite want to talk about just yet. So, but it's important. I mean, look at that. Look at what our teachers are making. Look at, he's the CEO. He's the CEO of
I feel
schools.
bad for the teachers. It's just like, when I read that contract, I just feel like, let's just put their face in the mud more. Let's just put their face in the mud more. Oh my gosh, we're gonna give that. I just feel like they literally are.
Well, hey, they got $100. You know, somebody actually said to me, wow, woohoo, they found a whole $100 for each teacher. Good Lord. I mean, and we know what teachers spend on their classrooms.
Right. More than 100.
I mean,
I promise you.
so at least getting 100 was nice. It was nice to get something. And I'm happy for these teachers that they got that. I don't agree with the manner,
the timing, and
I don't agree with the
and
timing.
manner.
I don't agree with the conversation from the stage with the board members, especially one being a candidate standing up there. I could see, if you're going to promote your teachers to go vote and in a school board election, that is not in conjunction with a national election or a May election like
Which
they're
it was
supposed
to be.
So you're not promoting them to go vote in the midterms.
Right.
You're promoting them to go vote in a for a school board member. I don't care if you want to sit back and you want to act like this was nothing other than what it was. Come on. Seriously. Hey, the school board president is standing up there with a microphone and says, and guess what, teachers? We, the board, found over $10,000 to give away, because there's 1,084 teachers, I believe. So that's over $10,000 cash. They turned it into $100 cash bills, distributed the money to the school principals, and the school principals distributed it to the teachers. Okay, so and not directly during the convocation, but then on that same stage, make sure you get out and vote. We've given you an extended lunch so that you can do so. Now, if I didn't mute my phone, I'm sorry. Let's just kind of put it into a different perspective, so you can see where, if you can't see where I'm coming from, maybe you can see it this way. Let's say Nona, the other candidate, miraculously found $10,000 under her mattress and said, you know what? I love and respect all my teacher friends. I'm going to go give them each $100 to decorate their class. Hey, by the way, friends, teachers that I love so much, don't forget to get out and vote. Would you be okay with that? I just want you to think about that. I want you to sit on that and really think about that. Or would you look at Nona as a candidate and go, wow, that was convenient timing to give all of her teacher friends $100, and then make sure you go vote, guys. Hey, you know what? I can come pick you up on a Saturday so you don't have to waste your own gas if you want. Right? And don't forget, make sure when you vote that you take your I voted sticker and you take a picture of it so I can see it. So, anyway, I just want you to think about that.
I do know people, actual teachers that did not go vote, and it was because they were scared. Because I did already have some teachers tell me that when they went during the week, and some of them had their IDs on, they felt like there was people in there looking at their ballot. Particularly one person was in there and just happened to be glancing down while someone was putting their ballot in. Okay, what? They just these teachers are already very nervous. So some just didn't go vote at all.
I'm really sad to hear that. Well, and again, we got a massive problem on.
I'm not, you know,
Can I ask you a question? Or
not all those teachers felt that way,
right?
But I'm telling you, we
talked about this while we were at the polling location, and because a poll watcher overheard some voters in there saying that they got robocalled.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't do any robocalling.
No,
because you couldn't afford it.
No.
Okay.
And I didn't really have a lot of time.
So we can only assume that
Right.
his campaign did some robocalling. I
Right.
don't know for sure because I don't know anybody who received that call or what the call said.
Mm-hmm.
If you did receive it, I'd certainly love to know what was said on that robocall. But here's the thing. When we're talking about education and we're talking about, one of the things that you talked about on your website was getting everybody involved. And I want to go pull up your website really quick so I can read it and not misspeak, because I don't want to be accused of lying, plagiarizing, all kinds of stuff. So I just want to make sure I have it right.
Hey, I mean, what else? I'm now like, your children are marked safe from me since I did not get on the board. I mean, literally now people are making it sound like I'm a mass murderer or a pedophile. It's just ridiculous.
Right.
All the accusations were wrong. They were not true. I've been told, I've also seen from people that I, falsified paperwork. What? I'm just like so dumbfounded, and they're still attacking.
Look, there's
even after they've won.
There's plenty of board members several of these board members are on social media, and none of them stopped people from dragging a candidate through the mud.
Yeah. They allowed it.
You allowed it. You condoned it for your own purpose and your own gain. And
own agenda.
And that's disgusting. Now, this is not Nona sitting here like she's some victim. And
oh my God, I've never said that. And everybody quit putting words in my mouth.
She cried all weekend over this. It's
actually, I didn't cry.
Right. It was a battle. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
It just really was disgusting. And honestly, I had more people reach out just
I have
horrified over what people did to you on social media.
I have too.
And so anyway, so one of the things that we talked about though, when we were sitting at the polls, a poll watcher overheard that conversation about robocalls. And so we heard that, right? And here's what I say. When you're talking about having, one of the things that you had talked about, I still can't find where it is on your website, but I know it's on there. You talked about civic duty and getting the kids more educated and bringing the parents and teachers and the children, administration and the board all together to promote civic involvement, to promote voting. So I asked the school administration, or I'll ask we can ask them like this, but I'm going to ask you to pay attention to this and ask yourself. Our school has robocalls at the tips of their finger. They could have sent out a robocall reminding the parents that there was an election. That's not electioneering. That is literally saying, we want to remind you that there is a school board election happening on such and such date, and this is where it's happening. That's not electioneering. That's informing.
Right.
That is informing the public.
A difference.
And
now, if they said at the end, don't forget to vote for the incumbent,
or to vote. I mean, you don't even have to say that, but you can inform
right.
the people that there is an election going on. And I believe that our school district has a civic duty to do that. We have children, we have students who are 18.
Old enough.
They're old enough to vote.
Yes.
And to have an opportunity to vote for that very first time. And now they're going to get to midterms
and a couple people did.
Yes. You have former students. Right. So, I mean, information is, it's key. I know that there's another PAC coming. I don't want to say what it's called yet. that's literally going to be just about getting information out there about
Mhm.
what's going on in our school districts across Johnson County, our cities,
Yeah.
our county level, to get the information out there and to really be reaching out to the people who are not paying attention because they're not being informed. And so if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
So that's what we have to do. And I feel like every one of us taxpayers and voters is responsible for sharing that information, accurate information, not rhetoric that people are putting out on social media based on reading a small portion of about 300 pages, which the 300 pages that you had, and I'm just kind of roughly throwing a number out there, tons of them were email communication between your entire team. It's not even it's not part of your HR
that were
file.
years old.
Right.
And a part of it was a huge the fob entry in all the teacher sign-in sheets. I mean, they made it sound like I had this huge
Giant
300 file. No,
and there was
it's
a
not.
secret investigation going on
Right.
about you too.
Mhm.
I first of all, if there was some sort of secret investigation going on about you from someone within the district, was that even legal?
Right.
So I call BS on that.
Right.
Letitia Gramling commented and she
Oh.
said they send emails and call for everything else. Why aren't they doing this for election
totally
is frustrating.
Yep, I agree.
So, and that's exactly right.
And I want to get this in before we
Yeah.
run out of time. I do want to say that everybody who did take the time out, I had several citizens come up to me and go, I don't normally vote in a school board election, but I came out specifically because I know you've been fighting for us to have that voice. I want to say thank you. Thank you for everyone that did take the time out to come out and voice by voting. It's very important. Now, it's a sad turnout because with 55,000 taxpayers and we had 2,000.
Well, I had other friends that not even.
Yeah. Yes. And we had people that still did not know about the school board election because Saturday night someone ran into somebody and they were talking and something was said about school. And then that person said, well, did you vote in the school board election? And they go, there was a school board election? He's like, it was going on all day today. You didn't have any clue? And they were like, no. So, but I want to say thank you. And I do honestly believe if this would have been done correctly, first of all, if it had been done in May like it was supposed to, it'd have been a different fight. And
a different turnout.
I totally believe a different turnout too. And then if the election had been followed by the protocols
according to the law,
I think it would have been a different turnout too. But there was a lot of undermined things done that cut me from getting the funds and knowing in a certain amount of time where he already knew they were already doing stuff and I'm still going. So when was the date? Y'all didn't announce it. I don't know what the date is.
Well, and that's the crazier thing too. And I urge people that if you haven't paid attention yet to go back to the school board meetings that are online, which by the way, our school board meetings are by law required to be live streamed. Any school district with over 10,000 students, the law requires them to live stream their meetings. We only live streamed here in Burleson during COVID.
Right.
Joshua, who has way less students than we are, and they haven't hit that 10,000
live
mark.
streams also.
Yeah, they live stream. They do it voluntarily. Godly does not, and they don't have to yet.
Right.
They don't have that many students. So Joshua and Alvarado, who have the choice to not live stream, they do it as a courtesy to their parents.
Right.
And our school district is violating the law among other Open Meeting Act
and
laws.
for anyone who wants to say it's how was it an illegal election and why didn't you stop it then? Okay, what you don't understand is once an election really has started the process, if the county doesn't step up and say, "Whoa, you're not following protocol," then the election's going to happen. It's going to be really hard to stop. So you just kind of have to go with the flow at that point. And that was pretty much the purpose, a big amount of purpose at the choosing of this date.
Right.
Along with it just being the beginning of the school year, teachers going back.
Well, we
had
people who were delivering their college kids back to college.
Right.
So, they didn't get a chance to do a mail-in ballot. Nobody promoted.
Which was really weird.
Right. The whole mail-in ballot thing it was more mail-in ballots than they've ever seen. And so interesting. I find this really interesting. I'm going to just say her name because I'm not saying anything bad about her. It's really just a question. It was somebody who was out electioneering, at the polling place all day for Sean Miner. Well, I won't say her name. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because she knows who
don't
she
give
is.
her the satisfaction.
She was on the list for a mail-in ballot.
But she was there the whole day.
Which came in like the first week of early voting. So I have to inquire, why did you do a mail-in ballot if you were more than capable to be out standing on the street with a Sean Miner sign all day long? Literally, she got there at the same time I did, 9 a.m.
Yep.
So she was there for 10 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she was.
More than capable of voting in person. Why'd you do a mail-in ballot?
Good question.
So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Think about those things. Pay attention. Have an amazing day. God bless.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, JoCo Community Radio. At Romika Designs, we're more than just a laser engraving and specialty design company, much more. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs, and if you can dream it, we can probably make it. We can custom laser cut and engrave on nearly all material.